Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to a very special episode of the Kings of the South podcast, an NFC South podcast. I'm your host, Cory. That's my guy right there, Thomas Hodges. And you can see we're bitter enemies, for the time being, if you've been living under a rock, it is the renewal of one of the NFC South's greatest rivalries. It is the battle for I-85. Atlanta versus Carolina. Before we get to that, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm hyped for tomorrow. I'm ready. And I'm coming off of a down because NC State got beat by Notre Dame.
They didn't just get beat.
Look, man, they got beat, okay? Capital BEAT. They got beat.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides that, man, I'm doing good, man. I'm ready for Bryce Young's debut against the ATL in ATL. And hopefully he has better luck than his former alma mater, Alabama, who lost tonight to Texas in Alabama.
Very convincingly, too. They lost.
Yeah.
So just to give you a rundown on the show before the game, TJ and I talked. So what we're going to do is whatever two teams play each other in the NFC South, they're going to get the majority of the episode, folks. That's just the way it is. So when the Saints and the Bucks play each other, we'll do a brief rundown of who played who, and then we spend the majority of the episode talking Saints, Bucks, and vice versa with any other teams in the South. So with that being said, let's go and get these other teams out the way so we can get to what we really came here to see. All right.
I mean, let's be honest. Our fan base doesn't care about the other teams. Let's be honest.
That's fair, but we owe them. We owe them to be impartial. We said it. That was one of our mantras. So, I feel like we'll be doing them a disservice if we didn't at least acknowledge the other teams and who they play and who we think are going to win that game. So
that's fair.
Let's start out. Saints, Tennessee Titans. Who you got?
I'm going Saints because I don't like anything about the Titans. I know they signed DeAndre Hopkins this offseason. They got Ryan Tannehill still. They got Derrick Henry. They got rid of Taylor Lewan at left tackle. I don't know who their left tackle is.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
Oh, no. They got what is it? Andre Dillard?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, we'll see. Question mark. We'll see.
Yeah, question mark. This game looks to be in New Orleans based off of my phone, but yeah, I'm going Saints, and I will give a score of 27-17.
Ooh. All right. I'm going the opposite, mainly because, like every year, the Titans find a way to be better than what we thought they would be.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. That defense didn't really lose much. I mean, people say, "Oh, they don't have cornerbacks." Well, guess what? They ain't had no cornerbacks last year either. And their defense is still pretty solid. So with they got Harold Landry back with Jeffrey Simmons, and I don't know who else, but they're solid.
Kevin Byard.
Yeah. I was mainly going, front four, front seven, but that's about all I got.
I'll go defensive names.
Yeah, we spend too much time on
relevancy.
I got Titans. Titans 27, Saints 20.
Not far off. Mine was 27-17, so yeah, that's not far off.
All right. Next, who we got?
Bucks and Vikings.
We don't need to spend too much on this. I got Vikings.
Yeah, this game appears to be in Minnesota, so
I got Vikings.
I got Vikings all the way. I'm going a score of 31-27. 21. That's being nice. That's being nice.
Yeah.
I like the Bucks receivers, and I like Rashad White. So I'm gonna go 31-21.
I'm going 40-14.
Yeah, I wanted to go 14, but I'm like I said, I'm being nice to the Bucks. I don't
Yeah.
like Baker Mayfield, so
They're gonna have to show me. They're gonna have to prove it to me. So
yeah, they got weapons. I mean, offensively, their defense is solid, but I
yeah.
think Vikings are the better team.
Yeah. One team has Justin Jefferson and the other team don't. That's what it comes down to.
One team has Kirk Cousins, and the other team don't.
Who would have thought we would be
Who
saying
would have thought I'd be saying that week
that?
one?
Who would have thought? All right. Last but not least, what the people came to see.
I mean, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, for those of you fans that are asking, I mean, yeah, this is a Bryce Young jersey. You know what I'm saying? Fresh off the line. Young on the back.
So,
You know, week
apparently,
one.
apparently my Bijan is lost in transit. So, stay tuned. I'll give you an update on that. Should have been here by now, but it is not. So,
I'll be expecting him to be lost in transit tomorrow too during the
okay.
game.
Oh, we'll see. Let's jump into it.
You know,
Carolina at home with my Falcons at home, in the dome, Mercedes Benz, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, pish
Uh,
posh.
which we'll see the debut of Bryce Young and the debut of Desmond Ritter fully entrenched as a starter.
Week one debut, yeah.
Yeah. So all right, tell me who you got. No, before we get into that, tell me what are the keys to the game for the Carolina Panthers to be able to pull this out?
I will say the keys to the game is our front seven versus your offensive line. I think that is the biggest key to the game on both sides of the ball. I will stand by that. Falcons offensive line is pretty solid, and Panthers defense appears to be having Brian Burns play tomorrow, which is good. I've been on the record of saying that if he doesn't play week one, that we have no chance. And it looks like he's going to play.
I
It'll
got a
be
question about
interesting.
that. I got a
Yeah, yeah,
question.
yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
So I get the concept of holding in.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're holding in and you're entrenched into a contract dispute, try to get a raise, what's the point of playing a game? You lose all your leverage. You might well not even held out.
So, from what I've heard on the situation, there's multiple reasons. Number one, he doesn't want to be a distraction, and he doesn't want to leave his team hanging dry just because he wants more money. That's number one. Number two, they have been in contract negotiations this whole week while he's been practicing. It appears that by sometime next week, he is going to sign a new deal and he will be a Panther long term, which is why he's playing tomorrow because they've already guaranteed him a contract on some I
So
trust you, you trust
so
me.
it's like a under the table type thing. Like, hey, you look
Yeah.
out, I'm gonna look out.
Right.
I respect it.
That's what it appears from what I've heard, what it seems. He traveled to Atlanta. He's in Atlanta tonight. He will play tomorrow. So from everything that I've seen and heard on the rumor mill and the Twitter sphere, it appears that he will be playing against Atlanta tomorrow. So
Okay.
I
Well,
mean, I don't blame him for not wanting to be a distraction to his team, and I also don't blame him for wanting to be there to support his team because this team is in a good spot to where if we have all the pieces we need, all the people that are on our roster now, I feel like we can be competitive and we can compete for a playoff spot this year. So I don't think he wants to miss out on that just because of an extension. So
mhm. um, I would say the keys to the game. I have okay. I have. Let's where we go. Two. I got two major keys,
yeah,
and it's gonna sound familiar to your keys. Our defensive line versus your offensive line.
Yeah.
We all know that your offensive line did not look good in the preseason. It did not. Um, it appears that Icky is not the same Icky from last year. Hopefully, that was just him
Based on
knocking out the rust.
preseason.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully for you
Sprinkle a
guys.
little,
Yeah, hopefully for your
take it with
guys'
a grain of
sake.
salt, is what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say.
hopefully for your guys' sake, he knocking off that rust. Trying some new moves, just seeing how it works. Hopefully that's the
Yeah.
case. But there's this is I don't want to say this is a must win, but for the city for this coaching staff to get and this team, the front office, for them to be able to have the whole city of Atlanta, the whole state of Georgia to be behind them, they have to win this game. You're playing the number one pick in the draft, Bryce Young, who is great, but he's also a rookie. There's some things in the NFL he's never seen before.
Yeah.
You need to capitalize on this. You need to make sure to you you need to put him on his ass. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. It's rivalry weekend. All right, there's no rules. All right, you need to knock Bryce Young down
Yeah.
every time he drops back to pass. I want
Gotta
pressure.
rattle them.
I want a hat on a hat. I just want someone living in his life. I want him to feel uncomfortable as possible.
Hmm.
The second key, your banged up receiving core against our banged up cornerback core.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys knew, but DJ Chark is out.
Yeah. Adam Thielen is going to play, by the way. That was
Mhm.
reported tonight by David Newton. Adam Thielen will play tomorrow, as well as Brian Burns.
Now, how effective he will be, we don't know. We don't know. I never played in the NFL. I also never sprained my ankle, so I can't tell you what that feels like. But I know, as a receiver,
Yeah.
you generate your speed and your cuts. The majority of being a receiver is, footwork. So will that come into play? Who knows? We don't know. But in this game, to say Carolina has a lot of unknown on their receiving core, I think that's fair to say. Outside of Adam Thielen, who we've seen him do it and
Yeah.
perform at a high level. I'm sure he'll get his, but we cannot allow a repeat of last year where LaVisca Chenault just, you know, take a 30-yard screen to the house, do the
Yeah.
poor tackling. But I will say this: it's a big difference from Cordell Williamson, who is no longer on our team, and Mike Hughes, who's a former first-round pick. So the depth that we have at corner, minus Jeff Okuda, who is also not playing, I
Yeah.
feel we're in a lot better shape than we were last year. Because last year we had people who should have been on the practice squad on our actual squad. So yeah, I'm super excited. Besides, Bryce Young, who else are you no, you can include Bryce Young. Who are you most excited to see?
So sticking to the receiving core, so like you just said about your secondary having more depth this year,
Mhm.
we also have more depth at receiver this year. So yes, DJ Chark is out this week,
Mhm.
but from all reports that I've seen, Terrace Marshall Jr. will be playing tomorrow. So you'll have him, you'll have Adam Thielen, you have LaVisca, and you also have second round pick Jonathan Mingo out of Ole Miss, who I'm very high on. And he has the potential to be the next future star receiver in Carolina. And tomorrow is a huge opportunity for him. Huge. I can't express that enough. I expect DJ Chark to be injured quite often this year because that's been his career.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I like DJ Chark. It was a great signing, but he's always had injury issues. He's always had hamstring issues. Um, it's part of the game, as some people have seen with Cooper Kupp in LA. He just got put on IR today. Hamstring issues with receivers is nothing new, especially guys who have been in the league a while. So I think Jonathan Mingo has a chance to really step up and become the focal point of this offense at receiver. It's just a matter of him and Bryce continuing to have that connection that they had in the preseason. Besides that, I will say, I mean, Bryce Young, he is a key part of this team. You were the
Yeah,
number one overall
yeah.
pick.
You traded a lot to get him.
You traded the farm to get him. You gave up DJ Moore, who was our best receiver, and you were the number one overall pick out of Alabama. If you don't produce this season, people are going to have concerns. As a fan, I will be supportive. I know he's going to have his ups and downs.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this week one matchup is pivotal for Bryce Young to get off on the right foot. I'm not saying he's going to throw for 5 touchdowns. I don't think he will. But he needs to be productive. The offense needs to be somewhat consistent drive to drive. I'm not saying we have to put up 30 plus, but we need to see some level of consistency out on the offensive side of the ball tomorrow for me to be comfortable going into next week, because next week is Monday Night Football, Saints Panthers in Charlotte, his home debut.
Yeah.
He needs to show that he can run this offense and that he can be a threat at quarterback.
You know, you bring up a very interesting point, and I want to touch on that more. Number one overall pick. The last time y'all picked number one,
Cam Newton.
Superman.
Yep.
Took you to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
15-1 regular season. Won MVP. Ever since y'all drafted him, you were, if you didn't make the playoffs, you were contenders to make the playoffs.
Yep.
Cam Newton left an indelible mark on the city of Charlotte. And if you don't live in North Carolina, you have no idea what Cam Newton meant to this state. You have no idea. They sent people home from school. In my line of work, the judges purposely would not send someone to jail because they didn't want them to miss the Panthers games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
It happened. So Bryce Young, I know he's even kill, and he got the right mindset, but that's got to be a ton of pressure to live up to, try to fill the shoes a little bit of Superman,
Yeah. It's huge shoes to fill, and it's
especially,
gonna be
especially with his debut. You remember Cam Newton's debut?
yeah.
Wait, he went over 500, threw a couple touchdowns, beat Arizona at Arizona.
Yeah, he threw for over 300
300
yards,
yards. My bad.
about 3 or 4 touchdowns that week one, and we ended up losing that game from what I remember. But
You sure? I could have sworn y'all won.
no, we lost.
I could have sworn he won.
Yeah, it was. I'm gonna look it up now because I'm actually curious myself. I'm pretty sure we lost though.
I could have sworn it was a win. This was what, almost 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Oh, he threw for over 400 yards.
Yeah.
Um, let's see.
Crowd waits with bated breath. Yeah, but yeah, that's a tough act to follow, man. Like as a rookie, you go over 400 yards and a couple TDs.
Yeah.
As an away team, and at that time, Arizona had a very good defense. So I hope, that the city of Charlotte will embrace him like they embrace Cam. But I'm also a realist. I know it probably won't happen because some people can't get over his size, and I feel like you need to get the hell over it. He was a pick. Deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so we lost 21-28 Cardinals.
Well,
But he threw for over 400 yards. So I will say I don't expect Bryce Young to throw for over 400 yards tomorrow, but I expect Bryce Young to be able to run the offense. I expect us to be somewhat productive. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. We don't know what Desmond Ritter is going to be. That's that's as big of a question for y'all as it is for us with Bryce
Mhm.
Young. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You don't know what you have in Desmond. He played 4 games last year. That doesn't mean anything. It's very pivotal that both quarterbacks kind of set the tone for the season. I'm hoping it's an offensive shootout, but I don't think it's going to be. So,
Well, TJ, you know me for a while.
yeah, I
You know
have.
me for a while. Um, I'm a realist when it comes to this team. The last couple of years, I called my shot and said, you know what, 7-10 flirt with playoffs. That's been pretty accurate.
Yeah,
I'm very confident with this team. I feel like Desmond Ritter is going to prove a lot of people wrong. He's going to shut a couple mouths, and he is going to be what Ryan Tannehill was to Arthur Smith. Um, I'm super, super excited to see what Bijan Robinson can do in an NFL game with real reps, see where they all line them up.
yeah.
Um, and I'm also excited to see this new defense, man. We bought a defense. So I'm curious to see how it looks with Jesse Bates in the back. We got Calais Campbell and Anyamata and Caden Ellis in the front seven. I'm looking forward to see also Ryan Nielsen. I'm looking forward to see if he can dial up some simulated pressure, man. See,
Yeah.
say we can make this rookie feel uncomfortable, man. So yeah, this is a big game. We can't stress that enough. I know it's the first game of the season. I know, I get it, folks. Oh, it's so early. It's so early.
It's week one.
This is one of the biggest games on slate this weekend. It's
Yeah.
a divisional. Okay, I take. Okay, yeah, it's one of. It's not the because Jets and Bills. I get
Yeah,
it.
Bears Packers. You have
Yeah.
quite a few division rival games this weekend. You also have Jags Colts. I know that's some people are like, oh, Jags Colts, but it's Anthony Richardson's debut against Trevor Lawrence. So there's a lot of big games this weekend, a lot of divisional games, and I do believe this is one of the bigger matchups for this weekend because of the fact that it's 2 young quarterbacks with
Mhm.
2 rosters that have been revamped. Coaching staff on our side has been revamped, and I'm curious to see how Frank Reich coaches this game against Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
One thing I've been talking about is the players, but I mean the coaching staff is just as pivotal
Hmm.
in success of a team, and I believe that we have one of the top 5 coaching staffs in the NFC. um, Dom Capers. I forgot D'Angelo Hall is a part of our coaching staff who also played for Atlanta.
Hmm.
Frank Reich, you got Thomas Brown, you got Elijah Avero from
Yeah.
the Broncos.
Yeah.
Evero. We kept our special teams coordinator. We kept our offensive line coach. We got Josh McCown in there. I mean, Deuce Staley's here. So we have so many great coaches that you know should help set the tone for this game and this season, and they're just as important as the players that are on the field. So um, that would be my other aspect to this game that I'm looking forward to is how do we adjust, how do we coach, and how hard do these players play on both sides of the ball, all 3 phases of the game. Actually, even special teams, you can't scoff at special teams either. Special teams is just as pivotal. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at with it.
Okay. Yeah. Um, this is a big, big game, folks.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big, big game. This is an
It's
opportunity to take an
yeah,
early stranglehold on the division.
division. Yep. Because I
Because
mean, it's in Atlanta, and we struggle in Atlanta, and I know that. But
we was the one in 15 and one.
yeah, yeah, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But yeah, I do think it's a huge deal, and as NFC South fans, we both understand how monumental this game is going into week one, especially for us.
Mhm.
Next week we play the Saints, so
You don't want to go down two, in the
0 and
division.
2. We start 0 and 2 on the season. We're gonna have a hard time. So
All right, let's start wrapping the puppy up. You know what I'm saying? Predictions. You can give me
I'll let you go first.
okay. You can give me some stat. All right, so we can do stat lines. We can do final score. So I say Desmond Ritter go for 220 plus, maybe a touchdown or two.
Yeah.
I say
I'll take the
Bijan.
over on that. I think he'll throw
Yeah,
2 touchdowns.
yeah. I say Bijan. Maybe get 85. 85 yards from scrimmage.
Yes.
Get
Under
a
70 yards rushing because I actually bet on him.
Oh
I,
no, he's getting over.
I took the under on 75 yards.
Nah,
So
he's getting that, brother. I'm just being but I think he'll score his first NFL touchdown tomorrow. I believe that I want to believe that this defensive line can generate some pressure to the tune of maybe 3 sacks, 3 or more sacks, hopefully, which will lead Bryce Young to maybe making a mistake that we can possibly capitalize on with an interception, which will lead my Atlanta Falcons to a 31-23 win.
you think it's that high scoring?
I
We'll
don't
see.
know. Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't. I want to show y'all respect. I want to say, you know, 31-20. That's a double digit win. I don't want to do that. I'll do it. All right, I'll do it. 31-20. I'll do it. I'll do it.
I don't think it's gonna be that high scoring,
Talk me into it.
but I'm gonna go 24-20 Carolina over Atlanta. I think Bryce Young will throw for over 200 yards tomorrow. I think he'll score at least 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I think we're gonna struggle to run the ball. I think you guys are gonna force us to throw
Mm-hmm.
because of our receiving core, because of Bryce Young being a rookie. And I think that's going to make Bryce want to adapt to the situation. And I think he has the tools around him to succeed. Um, I think Miles Sanders will get around 50 yards rushing. I don't think we're going to have a lot of success on the ground just because I know you guys are going to try to take that away from us. And I expect Brian Burns to be a problem for you guys. I mean, you guys have struggled against him in the past. And I think in this new scheme, 3-4 defense, I think he and Jeremy Chin will be somewhat of a problem for you guys. And it's going to be interesting to see how we use Von Bell, Xavier Woods, and Jeremy Chin. We have 3 safeties. Jeremy Chin's supposed to play closer to the line of scrimmage. I'm curious to see if they match him up against Kyle Pitts. So and how they use him against your receivers. So that'll be very interesting tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
But 24-20, Carolina over Atlanta.
Okay. Well, yeah, there you have it, folks. That's our prediction. That's what we think. Of course, you can join us after the game. We'll do another pod just to recap the game. We'll have that up shortly, and
Be excited.
yeah,
Oh, one of us will be excited. One
yeah,
of us won't be.
yeah, it'll be him. But before we get out of here, we got a special, very special, pull one out / down bad award because it's going to the same person.
One out.
It's going to the same person. No one, no other than former Carolina Panthers head coach, Mr. Matthew Rule.
Ugh.
2 ugly losses in a row.
Yep.
Um,
They
and
got blown out today. They got beat in the fourth quarter last week against Minnesota. So
yeah, and
yeah,
Shador Sanders brought up how Matt Rule is two-faced. And, if you're not from North Carolina, if you don't follow the Carolina Panthers, you would go, oh, why would he say that about a head coach? That's not right. Matt Rule is kind of two-faced.
Yeah.
He is. He told Cam Newton he was going to be part of the plans, and then he traded him.
Yeah.
Point blank. It happened. He does. Luke Kuechly, the nicest guy in the NFL, chose
Didn't want to play for him.
chose to retire.
He chose retirement over Matt Rule. That's sad.
And also, you know, apparently, Matt Rule has been taking shots at Dion and the Colorado Buffalo since he signed on as head coach of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So much so that before the game today, he let his team out for a team meeting at the 50-yard line on top of the Buffalo logo. What was he trying to do with that? I don't know. His quarterback is Jeff Sims. There was nothing more that you could do, okay? Jeff Sims played terrible, but he's an athlete, okay? I don't know why you would try to antagonize someone who has offensive firepower and who is not afraid to run up the score.
I will give them credit. In the first half, they held the Colorado offense for the most part, but in the second half, it got way out of hand.
Well, I would say I don't know if they held Colorado. More so, Colorado held themselves. They kept shooting themselves in the foot with stupid penalties and drops, and blown blitz coverage, and yeah, it was just yeah.
One little fact: did you know that Brock Purdy's brother plays for Nebraska?
Yeah, I did. He should probably be starting. I don't know, like
His
now.
name is Chuba
Chuba,
Purdy.
yeah, or Chuba, one of the two.
Chuba.
Yeah, he should definitely be starting because Jeff
Yeah.
Simmons, God bless you. I hate to
Also, too, did you know that after today's loss, Matt Rule coach team, he's lost 13 straight games,
is that bad?
dating back to Carolina days when he was in Carolina.
Is that bad?
Yeah,
It's not good.
13 straight losses.
Jesus
Holy
Christ.
hell!
What did you think was going to happen? You got Jeff Sims as your quarterback. I watched this man complete 5 of 20 passes at Georgia Tech. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Chuba,
Yeah.
save him. Save his job, Chuba. But as of right now, Matt Rule, you got the whole you get the misfortune of being the only person in the Kings of the South podcast history to receive both the Down Bad Award and the Pull One Out Award.
Oh God.
And it couldn't happen to a better guy. So there's that.
Worst guy. He
Yeah.
deserves it.
On that note, folks, we're gonna get out of here. Like I said, stay tuned to for another episode tomorrow after the game, where one of us will be sad and the other one will be ecstatic and rubbing it
I'll
in
be
the other's
smiling.
faces. I disagree. But until then, like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter or X, whatever the hell Elon is calling this thing these days.
Instagram.
Instagram,
We
what I'm
posted a
saying?
lot this football season.
Oh yeah. Just stay tuned, keep rocking with us, y'all. Love.
Peace.